Welcome to another edition of BBH New York Barn Burner series. My name is Amani Duncan. I am the president of BBH New York and your host for this event. So by definition, Barn Burner means a highly anticipated event. So being the black sheep that we are, we decided to launch this series, which is a gathering of virtually and in person, as we are right now at Kevin Liles' beautiful home, where we invite cultural leaders and thought leaders and various people, fellow creatives, basically people that we just admire and want to learn from, to join us in provocative and rich conversations that cross many dimensions and mediums. So this one is really special for me because you don't really have the chance to sit down with someone that was so instrumental in your life, your professional journey, as Kevin was. And we've been friends for way too long. He was actually my first boss when Def Jam moved, my first New York boss when Def Jam moved me from LA as this young college graduate to New York. And he was also my only friend. So that's like a whole nother story because I literally did not know anyone in New York other than this guy. So let's talk about who is Kevin Liles? And for me, Kevin is the epitome of the multi-hyphenate. He's an author, co-founder, CEO, creator, producer, Broadway producer, culturalist, a music man. He also is a sports manager. I mean, NASCAR Bubba Wallace, okay? Exactly. And let's talk about some of his famous friends. I mean, everyone from Oprah to Magic Johnson to Jay-Z to President Obama and of course me.
Bless you, baby.
So for 37 years, Kevin has been instrumental in helping companies persevere through uncertainty, market shifts, industry evolutions, consumer habits, and technology integrations to reach significant business and revenue growth. Repeatedly, he has emerged as an innovator, business strategist, and risk taker who transforms startups and emerging brands into well-recognized and respected market leaders. Today, Kevin's reputation as a thought leader and disruptive innovator has been highlighted in top media outlets from the New York Times, CNN, MSN, Wall Street Journal, Forbes, and Cranes. I mean, you're kind of a big deal. He's also active in the philanthropic world and is routinely engaged with political and business leaders at the local, national, and international levels. In his hometown of Baltimore, he built the KWL Stadium at his high school and had a street named after him, of course, the street that he grew up in, of course, in 2015. And this is new for me. I didn't realize that Kevin launched the Minority Male Makers in partnership with Verizon to encourage young middle schoolers to pursue STEM careers. Oh, give back. That's right. Kevin's global work on education and entrepreneurship culminated, this is a really big honor, in 2010, and I will not pronounce it in French. He received the medal for the city of Paris, which is the highest honor for individuals making contributions to Parisian culture. In addition, he received an honorary doctorate of law degree from his alma mater, Morgan State University, where he was on scholarship for electrical engineering. Recently, he gave the commencement address to Miles College and received a Doctor of Humane Letters. So without further ado, let's warmly welcome Kevin to the BBH Barn.
So that was, a lot of times when people talk about it, and me being only 53, I say thank you, God, for letting me accomplish so much in so little time. But I feel like it's 1984 right now. I'm ready to do it again.
Okay.
So
I love
good.
it.
And I'm glad I'm sitting here with you. You bring me so much joy and happiness to see fruit bear its own fruit, and now have a responsibility to planting more seeds and giving sunlight and water so we can keep, Black excellence going on. So I appreciate and love you, and welcome to my home.
Oh, well, it's beautiful, everyone. So don't make me do a video tour of it. But let's talk about the beginning. People know that, my story with you, and, kind of like the hustler mentality that we all really had. I mean, I had to get on your radar, when I was interning at Def Jam on the West Coast. And I did my best to do exactly that because I realized, I think I can make a career out of this music thing. And I tell people this story and they just crack up, but it really is a story of persistence, because I called you every single day to his New York office telling him he needs to move me to New York because I need to be where the action is at. I didn't even know, action is at. I didn't even know what that meant, seriously. But I called every single day. He thought I was a stalker and borderline crazy. And he stopped taking my calls, everyone. But look what happened. When a role came available, in spite of yourself, you thought of me. And
who's not going to think of somebody that's that persistent?
And the make it happen attitude, which is Kevin's mantra, he called me on Friday afternoon, everyone, and said, "Are you ready?" And I was like, "Ready for what?" And he's like, "I'm moving you to New York for this job. I need you to be on the red-eye flight Sunday night." Yeah. And I arrived at JFK that next morning with this guy as my only friend. So, we talk about you, today, the entrepreneur, the culture shifter, maker. But you had a great start, kid from Baltimore. You went to college, you did, followed everyone, the normal path that we all do. But there was something that you got into that turned into a bigger thing. Mm-hmm. So why don't you tell everyone about, your songwriting and the story behind that little hit?
I'm still creative at heart. I'm still an artist. And I always tell people the American dream to me was, go to school, college, get a job. It was never to create my own way. It was to take the path of what everybody said to do. Yeah. And so this thing came along called hip hop, and I lost my mind. I stopped playing football. I was all state. I stopped playing football. I stopped doing a lot of stuff. I even stopped going to class. And because the dean would joke with me and say, "Kevin, we know you're not here. We know you're on the road with Rob Bass, and we know you're opening up for Salt and Pepper, and we know LL's coming and your group is." And I just was honest with him. I said, I think I found my passion. And through it all, engineering taught me one thing, and I'll get back to the music stuff. My dean of engineering said, "Kev, you're probably one of our most successful engineers." And I said, "What do you mean?" He said, "Because you engineered your way through life."
Wow.
You know what I mean? And so when you think about being in a rap group, and shout out to the New Marks, because without them, I don't know if I'll even be sitting here. We created this record, and I remember it was probably, 83, I don't remember when it was, but, and we were on tour. I mean, you couldn't come through the Mid-Atlantic without us, performing with you, right. You know what I mean? So it was like a big deal, whatever. And then at my mom's house one day, and this girl say to me, "Kev, MTV's about to play your video." Now I'm like chilling. I said, "Shit, I don't have a video. They gonna play my video." And all of a sudden I see Milli Vanilli singing "Girl You Know It's True," my song,
wow,
on TV.
Wow.
And it was at that moment I said, I don't want to be in the music business. I want to be in the business of music. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to make sure this doesn't happen to somebody else. I'm going to learn this business from day one as an artist, and I'm always going to treat artists how I wanted to be treated. And so that's why we sit here today, and I'm able to do what I do.
And it's so true, because when we were at Def Jam, the early days of Def Jam, we were all so young. It felt like we were just making it up. But we treated the artists almost like we were their managers. We counseled them. We really cared. We showed up at baby showers and
weddings
and we really treated them as managers, and I kept that mindset with me even when I left Def Jam and worked at other companies, because it's just, I don't know, it just felt good, it felt right, even though sometimes we weren't supposed to tell them certain things because we were on the business side of things, but whatever. So Make It Happen, the title of your first book, right?
Yep.
What people don't know is that this was Kevin's mantra. You never could come to him with the reasons why something couldn't happen. Even though we tried. And he would just look at you with no expression and just say, I don't care, make it happen. And I remember at times it just, I'm young, we're all young, and I'm like, he's so mean. Like, what?
I'm young too, though.
You are young. You were young.
Okay,
you were young.
Age, right.
But we were a little bit more fragile.
Right.
And we would leave your office in tears. Like, he's so mean. Like, how am I going to make this happen? Like, I don't know if you remember the story. It was we were approaching Memorial Day weekend, and it was a Friday. And you and Lior came to me. I was the promotions manager at Def Jam right on 160 Varick Street in New York, and said, Amani, we have all these releases coming out. And we want planes with signs to fly over every beach location. It's Friday, everyone, at 4:00. And I'm like, what is happening? Like, what is happening? And it was just like, make it happen. But the crazy thing is, we made it happen. Mm-hmm. And what that did for us is that it made us feel that there was nothing we couldn't do. It was like our superpower. And it gave us all the courage to reach, probably a little higher than we thought we could reach. So other than the obvious, okay, what does make it happen really mean to you?
I mean, you think about the immigrant that fights his way to our country. You think about the kid who's told at 16 you're going to be dead on drugs or in jail. You think about the mother who's raising 2 kids without a father and any help.
Yeah.
And then you think about life. You can't tell me that you can't make anything happen. Look at many of the bigger businesses around. You can't tell me they weren't built off of a dream. And most people don't realize their purpose in life because they're not willing to sacrifice their life. So make it happen it's not the throw you the ball in the last 3 seconds and put up the shot. Yeah. It's those in the gym moments. It's those 2 hours before, 2 hours after. It's those relationships that you have that are one call. It's not,
your 10,000 hours.
It's 20,000 because I'm black. It's 20,000 hours. You know what I mean? It's we have to overachieve to a level, and so I said to myself, nothing's impossible, and I truly believe that to this day. To this day, I remember, just yelling at you guys about make it happen, and I didn't know what we could make it happen or not, but I know if you really put your mind to anything, whatever it could be, whatever it is, you can make it happen. Because I've seen it too many times over and over where we're agents of change and we change people's lives. And if I did at that moment, you didn't make it happen for that person, they might not be who they are today.
Right.
And you can name any of the biggest ones. We've had all kinds of scenarios where trouble, good times, bad times, and if we didn't bet on ourselves and we didn't say, I can, we can, let's make it happen. No, I honestly have to say, if you didn't adapt that mentality, you wouldn't be sitting here. If I didn't adapt that mentality, I wouldn't be sitting here.
That's so true.
Anything is possible, Amani. Anything is possible.
Oh, I believe that. I believe that. I don't know if there's a saying, once a teacher, always a student. And we all, learned so much from our experience with you at Def Jam and beyond. But it was really at our formative years of just starting out in our career journey. But I want to ask you this question. I don't know if anyone's ever asked you this. What was the one key learning you took away from your time at Def Jam? And has anyone ever asked you that?
Not in that manner.
Okay.
So I was treated. Def Jam was my high school diploma. So I started to discover myself. You know, what I mean, cool kid, nerd kid, whatever's working through, you know, fashion and feeling myself out and what does life mean and who would I want to be. Still didn't know, but and so at that particular time, here's what I knew. I interned for free for 2 years. Job came open, and they didn't want to give me the job. Gave me the job, became the president in 6 or 7 years, whatever it was. And the very people who didn't understand why my work ethic was 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, ended up working for me. And so it gets back to, you know, you can create. A lot of people are in other people's movies. I'm in my own movie. I'm Star Wars. I'm on my block, but I'm doing I'm Fast and Furious 9.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I'm gonna always come with an epic movie, and whether, you know, some characters are gonna fall in, fall out, go around, but I'm always be making my movie. So Def Jam taught me how to make my movie, and it also taught me how to, like I say, edit my movie. You know what I mean? Taught me how to, and when I need to, you know, cut. You know, lights come. Oh, you know, bring the stunt double in. It taught me all that, and I'm appreciative for everything that those guys did for me. And you know, the second thing that it taught me, that you have to take ownership.
That's right.
You have to take ownership, not just in the company, but ownership in everything you do and what you do and how you do it. And that, to me, everybody that worked with me, partnered with me, you know, worked for me, however you want to put it. They felt that if they did not do what they were supposed to do, they were letting the team down.
Right.
Everybody felt like, we're going to win a championship, we're going to win together. Nobody was better. Because, you know, I got rid of all the ones that thought they were better than me.
Yes,
you know?
I know.
I get rid of people like, no, we're one team.
That's right.
Nobody's better. Everybody got to play their motherfucking position. And that's what we did. And I really think that I'm thankful for you guys, and I'm glad to see you guys so amazing. So making your own movie, it taught me to take ownership.
Amazing. You know, in the agency world, we're constantly, you know this, we're pitching for new business, you know, the art of, you know, which is a whole process, and then the art of the close. That's a beautiful process. And sometimes it's hard to master. I remember during my early time with you at Def Jam, you allowed me to sit in your office and listen to you make radio calls. And you closed every single time. You're one of the best closers I've ever experienced to date. The only other person that I can say comes close to you is Puff.
That's my inspiration.
When I was with Puff, we would walk into meetings, Estee Lauder, Diageo, with these incredibly far-reaching request. And I'm sitting here betting against him. I'm gonna be honest. I'm like, they're not gonna go for this. Puff, this is crazy. He's like, watch. And the way that we're walking into a room of people, their arms are crossed, their body language is not very receptive. But by the end of that meeting, they're on the table with him, dancing, signing multi-million-dollar checks. And he treated it like a song. You know, you start out here, you build, you crescendo, and then you land gently. So I guess my question to you is, how did you master the art of the close?
I'm from a place in Baltimore. You know, like I always tell people, it taught me so much about the perception of people. I know who I'm talking to. I know that person is just like me. Who am I to judge a man or woman walking into a room, because I know not what they go through, that whole line. And so at the end of the day, I cut to the chase. We're all human beings.
Okay.
So now, what can I do to help you accomplish what you're trying to do? It ain't about me. What can, and I always put it, how is that best for you? But you heard the other side of it was, I'm cool with not doing it too. Because I'm gonna do it, and that might not be with you. You know what I mean? So I'm cool. Right. I'm cool with having, because I value my time, my ideas, and I want the word close. people use to me, because I don't think you might get the deal done.
Sure.
But closing is when it's over to me, and it's never over.
Right.
It's never. We don't. What you do is you're planting a seed, and similar to writing a song, you're planting a seed, but you got to water. And I might not get it the first time, the second time, but at the end of the day, the 1 + 1, you with me will equal 10. And if it doesn't equal that, then I don't want the business. And you shouldn't want the business.
Right.
And so to me, the art of the close is never to be closed, and to always be fluid and open and allow sunlight and sun water to continue to grow the tree.
It's amazing. Do you find that whoever you're dealing with feels a little FOMO because they know you're not hard pressed, that you can walk, that you will walk away?
I think, some, I could say just in the artist community, some managers and artists are shocked about it. But, I'm in the, whether it's the agency pitching, I'm constantly pitching people about the vision. And when you're a visionary, you don't worry about the no's. You just thank God for the yeses. You don't worry. Yeah.
Okay,
you can tell me no 100 times.
Sure.
But 1 or 2 people are going to tell me yes.
That's right.
And then when we get to the top, and you're at the top too, I'm going to say, man, I'm glad I'm here.
Yeah.
I'm not even worried about because I lost. Why? No, because I'm worried. I'm not worried about losses. I'm worried about the wins.
Wow, that's some. I hope we're writing these gems down, because that was powerful. So let's talk about 300 Entertainment. And first of all, congratulations, because you are 300 is the #1 independent record label in the country. So
y'all caught that, didn't y'all?
#1.
Y'all caught? No. What I want people to catch.
Okay. Teacher.
I taught her well. You never take individual credit. So she almost caught. She was about to say you, but she corrected herself to say 300, because I don't need credit.
That's right.
That's not what we're here for. We're here to build a team. One person does not do it. And so thank you for reminding yourself, because I was going to stop you, but you caught yourself to remind yourself it's always about the we.
Only someone that I've known for as long as I've known Kevin can say that to me. But I love it, because I'm always the student, and whenever I'm with you, I learn so much. So there's other things about 300 other than just being #1. You guys were also the only record label that received from Inc. magazine the best workplace. I mean, that's huge. I mean, that's something that we all as business leaders strive for, making the work environment not feel like the work environment. Make it feel just like a place. Tom Callard, our amazing CSO, Chief Strategy Officer, said, because we're talking about return to office, that we should make the office environment a place that you want to go, not a place that you have to go. So that's just huge. And another thing that I mean, you guys do so much for the people that work with you. But another thing that struck me that needs to be called out is during COVID, you offered an employee crisis fund to help families who may have been impacted during COVID. And, I could go on and on and on about all of the amazing things that you do at 300. But one of the things I want to talk about is independence is in your DNA. And knowing you, independence has always been. That is nothing new. And it's something that, we talk about at, BBH, about independence and being in control of our destiny. I mean, you have artists, Megan Thee Stallion, Young Thug. Okay, date me. I mean, Cheat Codes, who I'm obsessed with. Number ones. I mean, it just goes on and on and on. In November, with Megan. So I want to talk about the idea of independence and, tell the people, because they don't know. I know, but why is that so important? Why is that basically your North Star? And it's been your North Star for as long as I've known you.
Yeah, I think you touched on a couple of things, and I just want to put a bow on a couple of things. To all CEOs or people who oversee people in projects and things, we have to humanize our business.
Yeah.
Humanize our business to the point where, think about it, I could have donated to all sorts of charities, which I did also, but think about the hardworking husband or hardworking man that works with me, and their wife gets laid off, her husband gets laid off because of COVID. Yeah. How that impact could change their family. Yeah. So creating this fund allowed, one of the things that happened, a young lady started a business, prom season came and then couldn't, and so how is she gonna make it to next prom? You know what I mean? No, we're gonna help, and because that's how anybody. If you're part of the company, your family's my family. So I want to make sure, and so I challenge all CEOs to dig deeper than the EBITDA, dig deeper than the revenue, and just really invest in your people. The other thing about independence that I'll touch on, I never felt I worked for somebody because I was a CEO myself. I was a CEO of Kevin W. Liles. So, and in my journey, my portfolio consisted of World Connection Travel, Def Jam, Warner Music Group, KWL, Now 300. So I never felt that I worked for anybody. I always felt like if I'm the best at what I do, and my service is the best at what I do, people will want to use my service. So Def Jam wanted to use my service. Warner Music Group wanted to use my service. I figured I could start doing my own company, so I use my own service. But they're all companies in a portfolio of companies that I'm building. And so when I say independence is in my DNA, not to be independent and do it by myself, but to be independent that if I take control of myself and I am the best, I'm gonna attract the best. I'm gonna do the best. And eventually, hopefully, I'll be noted to be the best.
Yeah, you just left me. I'm just like, wow. I mean, this is literally a snapshot of like every conversation we have together. You just leave me. I think I know, and then I'm just like, gosh, forever a student, right?
Yeah, forever.
It's pretty amazing. So let's talk about creativity. I mean, there's a lot of people watching that are in the creative. I mean, we have a saying, everyone's a creative, which is true. But we have a lot of agency people. We have a lot of clients that are tuning in right now. And, you've always been a huge champion for creativity and culture. I can remember sitting in conference rooms at Def Jam where we only talked about the logo, the Def Jam logo, and how to protect the logo, because your brand, the equity that you build against your brand can provide you cover when times aren't great. There was times while we were at Def Jam that we didn't have hits, but no one believed us. No one thought that we weren't anything but this mighty hip hop entity, because we cared a lot about the logo and protecting the logo. You also gave us the opportunity to dream, colorfully and loudly, and you gave us the license to stretch. No one had to stay in their lane. If you had a great idea, you better speak up and let the world know that. And so, there's a lot of similarities between creative agencies and the music industry. I think people don't always realize that there are so many similarities, from the creation of something great, negotiations, pitching new business, which is in the form of A&R, finding new talent, and obviously management of difficult clients, whether they're a brand.
We don't have any of those.
Oh yeah, okay. Whether they're a brand or whether they're talent. So there's a lot of similarities. So we're now seeing a lot of people without agency backgrounds starting shops, creative shops. Just recently in the news, Michael B. Jordan just launched, Obsidian Works. Steve Stout, who we both know, still has translation, and Shaq partnered for a creative shop called Majority in Atlanta, and then obviously Rich Paul keeps building and building, and started Adopt with former Nike executives. So the obvious question, as you are the CEO of Kevin Liles, and you have so many businesses, which I want to talk about your sports management business as well, because I'm obsessed with Bubba. But is a creative shop like in the horizon for you?
You said it already. What's a creative shop? We all creatives. We all creating. I do brand pitches. I do everything that I do. When I did Verizon Minority Mail Makers, agency didn't bring me that. I did it right with Verizon. Yeah. When I remember the Freestyle 50,
I did.
Challenge. I didn't. I am an agency. The only thing I'm not is a label. I am a platform. I am a family business of service. So if you need it, we got it. you want to do it? I know how to do it. And so at the end of the day, let's think about ideation, storyboards, creativity, content. I do all that shit. So why you want to label me an agency? And I tell people, I want to be, our hashtag now is hashtag get shit done crew. That's who we are. We are, so at the end of the day, I don't go with the labels. I just, you call me up, okay, we want to do NASCAR, okay, cool. We want to make video games, okay, cool. Through the leadership of Russell, we want to do a comedy, okay, cool. We want to do movies, okay, cool. So what? Were we ever one thing? So,
right.
Even I think true. I wanted to jump on the reason why so many people can come into the space of quote unquote the agency is because the ideation is now not coming from one place. Right. There's no school you can go through for the ideas that need to come to disrupt. There's things that it can teach you, but there are ideas that young kids that are coming up with now that they can't get to the funding to do what they do. So we got to find them. And right now we're trying to protect, I need this business. No, we need to find that idea that's going to change the world and disrupt. Because I'm just not the guy to label and for the record, I am in your business. I'm always going to be in your business. And at the end of the day, as long as I'm here, you're my business. So.
It can't get better than that, I'm telling you. So I have to pause for 1 second, and since we're talking about businesses, everything that went down with Bubba, it was crazy. It was just so crazy. So how did you help him, navigate? And we're talking about, Bubba Wallace, the NASCAR driver, and the situation that happened last summer. How did you help him, as his manager, navigate through that?
Well, shout out to the pro sports management team. Bubba's one of the drivers, and my partners Jens and Rod. When anything come up cultural, I'm the first litmus test. Yeah. You know what I mean? What's going on? How do we deal? And we had other clients and other friends that had issues, and I dealt with Bubba's situation like I would dealt with if my son went through it, my daughter went through it, if I went through it. Yeah. To say we do not live in a racist country, you're blind in one eye. Here's a guy that has a white father and a black mother. So trust me, he's in a sport that only had two people that ever won a cup. You know what I mean? So I treated him in that moment as a learning moment. And we had conversations, but I'm so proud of this kid because he said, you see my color, but I want to be the #1 NASCAR driver. So with all the stuff that you're doing, I just want to race. I just want to be the best NASCAR driver that I can be. That's right. So his mission and his vision, all that was noise. Imagine the impact if he would have let it have on him. Sure. The mental impact.
Absolutely.
That it could have torn him down. Yeah. But he's not racing just for himself. He's racing to literally change the game. And look how God blessed him. He went through all that. You know, God, he'll put you through hell before he bring you heaven. Look what God did. Put him through hell. We couldn't even get him sponsored in the right way. Couldn't even get him sponsored in the right way. God said, let me shine light on what it is. And sometimes light is dark until it becomes light.
Right.
And now look at him.
Yeah.
Over-sponsored, with Denny Hamlin and Michael Jordan.
Yeah.
Right. Come on, if you don't think that's God, so how did I help him? No, he really helped me. Remember that. Shout out to Bubba.
Yeah, I want to meet him. So
Yeah, that's that. We need to go to a race.
we do need to go to a race.
Yeah,
Is Formula One in the works?
You know, I'm at the point now. I have a clear vision on building 300 and empowering independence around the world. NASCAR wasn't in the works. Basketball wasn't in the works. Soccer wasn't in the works. Golf, shout out to Bubba Wallace, and Kevin Nash, but that wasn't in the works. But when you're off service, God puts it in the works. So I can't say what's next. What I can say is we're number one independent in the country. I want to be the number one independent in the world. And I want to put up the back signal for independence to say independence. If it's in your DNA, get at your boy, because we're going to build the best in class service business that's ever out there.
Amazing. And, for those who don't know, Kevin is an incredible golfer. Have you ever, no, seriously, lives on the course, amazing. Okay, the crew is maybe, I don't know. I've seen it. I'm, impressed. Have you played with Bubba?
Small story. So, started the agency, and Bubba was coming to play in, one of the series. And they said, well, we're going to come warm up at your course. Now, I'm a new member to the course. So, in my mind, I'm thinking, what does it mean that you bring Bubba Watson, a green jacket, to Alpine Country Club? I said, gotta mean something. So I'm a new member, whatever. So I get up there.
It's kind of a big deal.
I don't know. So we get up there, and I can't really play back then. And he said, don't take lessons. Play 2 balls. Learn your swing. Learn, because he's self-taught. And it gave me such a passion for it. And the next time I went to play, congratulations, Kevin. Congratulations. You hit Bubba Wallace. I didn't know what. I was like, guys, what is all this? But I brought a green jacket to the course.
Yes, I'm crystal clear on this.
It was a moment, a golf moment for me. But one of the most special moments was, I think we were at the Phoenix Open, and I was actually getting to walk.
Oh, wow.
And that to me, if you're a golfer, all I can tell you is it changed my life. It's something that hopefully I can do until I'm old, and it was something I never thought I would do, never thought I had the time to do. But you make time for the things that you have to do, and to the golf community, I'm special, and big shout out to my boy Tiger. Can't wait. Love to the family. Good luck, and keep healing, brother.
That's right. So I'm reading a book called From Good to Great by Jim Collins.
Oh, I love it.
Right? And, thanks to our, global chief talent officer, Niall Haddon, who recommended that I read the book, and it's just been transformative. And I was just like, gosh, why haven't I read this book before? And, as you've read the book as well, there's a lot of discussions about companies and, what makes companies great. And then there's a lot about leadership, because I do believe leadership starts at the top and sets the tone and tenor for whatever company you're at. And the level 5 leader, and I'll say, bear with me, I'll give you the definition from the book of what is a level 5 leader. And the definition is: a great leader is someone who displays a powerful mix of personal humility and indomitable will. They're incredibly ambitious, but their ambition is first and foremost for the cause, for the organization and its purpose, not themselves. You pushed a lot of people to reach goals that they didn't think they could reach. That was a big component of your management style, and probably the reason why all of us, and you know who you are where we are today as presidents and CEOs.
It's because of you guys.
Okay.
But I was helpful in the process.
You were very helpful in the process. Love the humility. I honestly have to say, after reading the book, I consider you a level 5 leader. I really do. So share with everyone, like, what are the characteristics you look for in someone who is good but will become great?
I was just telling my man downstairs, you have a seasoned person who you know could do the job, but they know they could do the job. You have a young person that's willing to give up everything to do the job. Which one are you going to choose? See, I'm going to go with the person that's willing to sacrifice their life. Always, because I'm going to teach them how to get here. Somebody who's already here is going to tell me in a way, well, that's not how you do it. No, we don't play this music. We don't give out these awards. No, you can't win the highest honor in Paris. Like we taught, like, because they came up a certain way. I want the Amanis, the Laurens, the Liles, all you guys that really like give me the rock. I want to play the game. I want and put you in and score. That's the. So I think, and I'm gonna say the whole company can be like that.
Yes.
But you have to find those firecrackers that might be small but are the loudest during 4th of July. You know what I mean? You have to find those people and you have to surround them with a partner group that are not afraid.
Right.
You know, I always tell people you got to find a way, nurture a way, then you got to know when you get out of the way. And so a lot of people stay in a position too long.
Yes.
A lot of people want to hold on to something that might have been good in '84, but in 2021 is not right. And so you have to shift and evolve as people. And I think, to me, good to great people, they're already great. They just need the opportunity to be greater.
Wow.
I truly believe that. Before I worked for Def Jam, I was already great. I was already, what you going to tell me? They sent somebody to the marketplace to be the Mid-Atlantic Regional, and he said, Kev, because I was interning.
Yeah.
He said, Kev, Frank Ski, he's not letting me up to come see him. I said, well, why not? I said, you're the Def Jam rep, why not? He said he's on the air. I said, oh. Frank, my man will bring you some food. Because he said, all right, let him up. So I was already great.
Sure.
And a lot of people miss their greatness because they try to be something that they're not.
Right.
And so I believe everybody at this moment in your life, if you're listening to me, you are great. You just got to find that thing that you to be the greatest at. That's all it is.
It's all the journey, right?
All the journey.
So building on that, I read, you've been in so many articles, but I came across one in Billboard, and it was about your journey. It said, you were quoted to say, I would have told 16-year-old Kev not to worry about the music business, but to learn the business of music. I ended up having to deal with someone stealing my song and then having to sue them for infringement on copyright. I would have told 23-year-old Kev to live a modest life until you have freedom. Don't chase money. Chase the freedom to do what you want, when you want, how you want, and with who you want. And I would have told 30-year-old Kevin, when I became president and CEO of Def Jam, that at 50, you're still young and you'll still have opportunities. Because I once thought you get to a certain age in hip hop and it's like, whoa, you're done at 40. You give a lot of career advice, but some people here probably haven't heard your gems. So, simple question, what is the one piece of career advice you would offer to young people making a way for themselves in the business world?
Anything is possible. Go through the education journey, but create and think like an entrepreneur. You think about it. We played sports coming up. We never thought, Amani, that we could make a baseball bat, never make a basketball, make a football. We never thought that we could create an app. We play video games, we consume these things. We never thought we could own a cereal company. You know, so as you go through these education series to get your degrees, make sure you're thinking like an entrepreneur. I remember we used to have the heater, and because the house wasn't like this, we used to have the heater in there, and we'd still be cold. So you know how you open up your robe, you have your robe, put your robe on, and tied, but it gets loose, whatever, so your chest started to get cold. So I turned my robe around and put my arms the other way. I just didn't know to call it Snuggies. I just didn't know to call it Snuggies.
Yeah.
I didn't know that because I put pretzels and potato chips together, that just what we had. But I didn't know to call it Chetzels. I didn't know that. I mean, I got on a list of things that I did and I was creating, but I wasn't thinking like an entrepreneur. I was thinking out of necessity, but things are created out of necessity.
Out of the need, absolutely.
So therefore, I would tell the younger generation, get your education, but follow the 3 E's. Educate, empower, and be an entrepreneur. That always, those are the things that you have to do from day one. And hopefully, it'll be instilled in somebody you can be an entrepreneur. You can be inside a company, because all you guys were entrepreneurs.
We were.
You know what I mean? You can be an entrepreneur and work yourself to the top of the company, or you can be an entrepreneur, inside entrepreneur, learn and get out and build your own thing.
Right.
It's really, but definitely educate yourself, be an entrepreneur, and empower.
Sage advice. So as we're wrapping up, I want to get to the fun part, which I call the speed round. And so I'm just going to ask you a series of questions. But the first one is my favorite, and it always stumps people. I know it won't stump you, but it does give people a chance to really think about their answer. So here we go. If you could trade places with anyone, living or deceased, who would that person be and why?
Martin Luther King, because I want to be a life of service. I want to live a life of service.
Wow.
Period. Not a question. For what I believe in, I'm going to sacrifice my life. Martin Luther King. Not a question.
Okay. That was really fast and amazing. Worst piece of advice you were given?
Get a job and benefits.
Best piece of advice and why?
My mom, I believe in myself, therefore I am what I believe myself to be. I'm great. I'm not going to stop thinking I'm great. I'm going to work on being a better father, better friend, better husband, better leader. And this is just, but anything, my mom, she instilled that in me. Just, be it. Don't just talk about, I believe in myself, therefore I am what I believe myself to be.
Powerful. What was the last book you read?
I mean, it's that one right there.
Yeah, I'm like, there's so many. How not to be an anti-racist?
Yeah, I mean, what I think, I'm having a lot of conversations with all different kinds of people, because race is now at the top of everybody's mind, and I want to understand all sides. And I want people to be able to have a conversation, an educated conversation. It can be emotional and passionate, but it has to be around facts. And so I find myself now making sure when I do have an opinion, I can back it up with really actually what happened. So I'm doing a lot of soul searching, a lot of biographies, but that's what, and another one of the books that stand from the beginning. And if you haven't read that book, it will show you the course of how through religion and through separation and segregation, and we ended up with slavery to now where we are. But one of the best books that I could read. So, but I'm a reader, so
And tell us one more time the title.
Stamped from the beginning.
Stamped from the beginning. Yes, I actually saw that online. I need to order that. Okay, so best album out right now, and it can't be from a 300 entertainment artist.
I'm not gonna let you get me in trouble, so it doesn't matter.
Okay, hard pass.
Listen, by the way, I have so many friends.
I know.
And I wouldn't want to put anybody in a situation where anybody find anything, but it can't be mine, but it is mine, so I won't say it. Next.
Okay. Favorite quote?
I have a lot of them. But I always say when people ask me, I think about the times, right now. Pac. And hear what he said. I know we fed up. I know we fed up. Police brutality, the pandemic, the lack of equality. I know we fed up, but we got to keep our head up.
Yeah.
I know we fed up, but we got to keep our head up. If you want me to be more cultured, I would say Frederick Douglass, who says, without struggle, there is no progress.
It's very timely. Last question. Alternative career choice.
So
a golfer, maybe?
Definitely not a golfer.
Preacher.
Definitely gotta go. I would be of service. So if you want to say pastor,
That makes me so happy. Just by the way.
if you want to say senator, if you want to say governor, mayor, I live a life of service now, but I would be of service.
This is not a planned question, but first of all, that made me so happy. I just want to share that with you, and that made me very happy. This isn't a planned question, but it just popped in my head as you're talking about service, and let's end with this. Is there a political career for you?
I'm already a political figure.
Political office.
Oh, you mean run for office?
Political office.
Let me say this. I know that I could be helpful.
Absolutely.
I want to be of service. How can I make the most impact? I don't know if I need a title or a position in our government to do it. But if God gives me that calling, I'm going to answer that too.
Yeah, we need you. We need you. So on that beautiful note, Kevin, thank you for welcoming us into your beautiful home, and just for the years of friendship that we have and that we continue to have. You are an inspiration to so many, including myself, and I owe a lot to you. So thank you.
Yeah, thank you, and you guys to me, and to all of you listening. Please support Amani and the company, and what you're doing, because I believe one of the reasons why I got back into the industry in this manner is because there's not enough beacons of light that look like us and come from us, and we have to be that inspiration. And I know your organization is the reason they made you president and brought you there is because you are that beacon of light, and keep shining.
Thank you. So thank you all for joining us for another episode of BBH Barn Burners. Until we meet again, go and be great. Thank you.